We have extended coverage for you on the Reverend Jackson's impact here in Chicago and across the country and around the world. All day, people have been stopping by his family's home in the Jackson Park Highlands neighborhood, leaving flowers and balloons, honoring his impact here in the city and across the world. The Jackson family says the Reverend died peacefully, surrounded by his family.
A statement from his family reads in part, "We shared him with the world, and in return, the world became part of our extended family. His unwavering belief in justice, equality, and love uplifted millions, and we ask you to honor his memory by continuing the fight for the values he lived by." Reverend Jackson, of course, helped propel the civil rights movement in this nation and twice ran for president.
He also founded the Rainbow Push Coalition that's based right here in Chicago to fight for social change. His impact has been felt, again, across the country and around the world. Our political reporter, Mary Ann Ahern, joining us now with a look back at Jackson's legacy.
Few ever roared from a pulpit or podium like Jesse Lewis Jackson.
I have determined that I will be what I want to be. Fly a plane, build a bridge, run for Congress, run for president.
Born in Greenville, South Carolina in 1941, Jackson was raised in the deep poverty of the segregated South. A high school athlete, he won a football scholarship to the University of Illinois, but headed home after only a year. He left, but in 1966, at the age of 25, he returned to study at Chicago Theological Seminary. He was young, ambitious, and increasingly controversial.
I am somebody.
Chicago became his base, his presence and power growing as a civil rights leader and as a politician.
From slave ship to championship, our time has come. From our house to White House, our time has come.
In 1984, Jackson unsuccessfully sought the Democratic presidential nomination. He ran again in 1988 and won 11 primaries before bowing out. He earned a primetime slot at the party's national convention and urged the nation to dream.
When my name goes in nomination, your name goes in nomination. I was born in the slum, but the slum was not born in me. And it wasn't born in you, and you can make it.
Jackson was the most prominent and controversial civil rights leader of his generation. He led crusades fighting black-on-black crime, urged students to excel academically, and implored generations to fight the growing dangers of illegal drugs. Still, controversy was an early and constant companion. He was in Memphis in 1968 when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. The morning after, Jackson appeared on television in a shirt he said was covered in King's blood, raising questions, according to author Barbara Reynolds.
No one knows where he got the blood because he didn't come near Dr. King.
There was blood on me because he was bleeding profusely. He had been shot in the neck.
What we have seen is the invention of a Negro leader or black leader.
First, Operation Breadbasket, then Operation Push became his platform. He helped oust Mayor Richard J. Daley and his allies from the 1972 Democratic National Convention. He battled Mayor Jane Byrne over minority participation over what was to become Chicago Fest. Chicago was his home, but the world was his stage. Fighting apartheid in South Africa, supporting Palestinian rights, and in 1984, securing the release of a downed American pilot in Syrian-held territory in Lebanon. Jackson married his wife Jacqueline Brown in 1962, and she remained in the shadows for the majority of his political career. Together, they had 5 children. Jesse Jackson Jr. carried his father's name and political ambition and was elected to Congress in 1995. But in 2013, he and his wife Sandy Jackson pled guilty to federal charges of misusing $750,000 in campaign funds. It was an anguishing family moment in the autumn of Reverend Jackson's career.
His will to public service continues. He's down, but he'll get back up again.
In November 2017, Jackson announced he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. He had noticed the symptoms 3 years prior. While the disease often leaves some with impaired coordination, that diagnosis did not stop Jackson's advocacy. Whether it was calling for police reform after George Floyd's murder or pushing for voting rights, even willing to be arrested in the summer of 2021, Jackson demanded an end to the effort to restrict voting access.
Happy birthday.
On Jackson's 83rd birthday, October 8th, 2024, he was surrounded by family, friends, and politicos at Mayor Brandon Johnson's City Hall office. While Jackson did not speak publicly, his son, Congressman Jonathan Jackson, noted the importance of giving flowers to great men and great women while they can still smell them. In November 2025, when Reverend Jackson was hospitalized, his family revealed a new diagnosis. He had progressive supranuclear palsy, or PSP. It's a neurodegenerative disease more serious than Parkinson's. The remarkable life of Jesse Louis Jackson began as the son of an unwed teenage mother with little prospects for a life of achievements, but blessed with intellect and a gift of oratory.
I can be what I want to be because there's a me that makes me me.
And the ability to seize the moment in both controversy and conviction. Jackson's name will long be remembered. And in a statement that may best sum up his life's journey, the Reverend Jesse Jackson said this: "Those of us who dare to be change agents, who lead by molding opinion and not following opinion polls, always rub the edges of our society."
Mary Ann Ahern with a look back there. And of course, Jesse Jackson, remembered today as a civil rights icon. But important to remember, through all this, he was a husband and a very proud father.
A very proud father, and just spoke moments ago with his son. I spoke with Jesse Jackson Jr. about what it was like in these final hours, and he spoke from the heart in just a few moments ago in a Zoom call.
It was very, very painful. In fact, I didn't want to leave the funeral home at 3 o'clock this morning, in small measure because my father would not have wanted to be alone. I know that about him, that he needs community, that he needed people, and that he got great energy from being around people. The great Jesse Jackson is no more, and it was very, very painful, but I now empathize with millions of Americans whose parents are aging and going through the exact same thing, and it's something that I want to address if I'm ever in a position to do so.
In fact, we were just with Jesse Jackson Jr. yesterday when he participated in a debate as he looks for a political comeback.
And Jesse Jackson's such a huge part, not only of the city of Chicago, nationally and globally. He will be remembered so fondly, too, for always showing up, always being there and championing those who didn't have a voice.
Absolutely. You know, we knew him here in Chicago, but he was a world voice. And I think we will see in the weeks ahead when his funeral here in Chicago will be much like a state funeral, that we will likely to see former presidents be here, as well as perhaps world leaders who interacted with Jesse Jackson over the years.
He had so many powerful messages, too. Keep hope alive, the one that I know always rings in my heart when I think of him.
I'd covered him for more than 40 years as a reporter in Atlanta and then here in Chicago, and those speeches, you know, you couldn't have walked away without taking something. You know, the dream was a lie, all of that. And also his ability to make you listen in a quiet way to what he had to say.
Effective communicator, but we saw he did a lot of things too, here in Chicago and around the world.
Right. He demanded the attention of elected leaders, but he also got results.
Yeah.
He sure did. All right, Mary Ann Ahern, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate the look back.